welcome back to Citizen Sleeper 2, and where we left off last time, we actually finished a contract successfully. I'm very happy with that, because we failed so many before that, but we are currently starving, so that needs to be the first thing that we fix. We have got Eugene on our team now, which is always good. Ooh, hello. There's processing raw scrap. We do have raw scrap, I think. We just have a look at our cargo. We've got 4. Scrappers will process your scrap in bulk, pay you for the offcuts, and return processed plates. It's not a bad deal. Okay. Let's do that. What's that do? 7 cryo and 1 processed scrap. Where's the processed scrap? Ah, there it is. Nice. We do have enough to do that again, but let me... We are... We're not doing well. We need to... I think we can buy kelp cakes here, so let's do that real quick to... Whew. We're not starving anymore. Then we need to buy supplies. Trade hall? Yes, there you go. Fill supplies for 75. That does absolutely rinse us. How much fuel do we have? 3. I don't think that's enough to get to where we need to go. So, what we're going to do instead is we're going to buy 3 supplies. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to fill fuel. Oh, we're just short. Okay. Okay. 7 fuel, 3 supplies. That's not too bad. Let's then do this with scrap again. Hopefully we didn't need just raw scrap for anything. We should be alright. You can buy scrap from here as well. So we can either... We can earn a meal as well. If we impress Nimba, I wonder what if we get anything good for that. Is it worth putting the effort into that and then going to... Let's do that, because we've got nothing else really to do here, I don't think. Yeah. So... We've got earning Nimba's respect. We've got the bar which you can order food from. You've got the hall which you can order supplies and fuel from. We've got the signal station which you can earn money from. And then you've got a bar where you can do a shift. If you want to gamble in the Beltborn Ventura, you'll need a member's backing. Perhaps after enough shifts you'll find a sponsor. I really want to gamble. We don't have enough money for that. So yeah, it looks like the best option at the moment. Let's get... Oh, it skipped past Nimba there. Let's get Nimba on side. Let's earn a meal. And we also fill up our bar while we're doing it. So, win-win. So we need to do... if we do this, will we get more than +1? Yes. So we just need 2 more. Did it! We impressed Nimba. Sleeper. Nimba wants to see you. You nod to the other volunteers as you wipe off your hands and clip your cutlery to your magnetic rack. You drift out of the improvised canteen on your way to the kitchen. On your way to the kitchen in the back. It was a busy shift. Each shift seems busier than the last. That makes sense, of course. You've seen a steady flow of refugees coming from the inner systems Most of them, with barely a chit to their name, end up in the underhang. As you cross the kitchen, you can still hear the rumble of the refugees' conversation through the hatch. The other chef leads you past the rehydrators and hand-built centrifuge oven to a small office and unit at the back of the kitchen. They knock on the door for you. They glide away to finish their own meal, leaving you to wait by it. You look around the small, carefully arranged kitchen as you wait. Your shifts here have left you familiar with the mix of improvised and salvaged equipment, some of which you have never seen before you came here. Come in, sleeper. Nimba is perched at a desk, uplit by a small transparent terminal screen, reading glasses perched on the end of his nose. You've seen Nimba before, not as much as you imagined you would while working at the place called Nimba's Kitchen, but even though there isn't a proper sign out front, everyone in the underhang knows its name. The man himself is more of a mystery. Apart from the occasional barked order in the busy kitchen, he is little more than a blur to you. Why do you work here? He barely looks up from his terminal screen. The scrolling text reflects in his lenses. I want to help. Uh-huh. Nimbus stops scrolling the screen and looks over his glasses at you. You do well here, sleeper. You're fast, precise. You're doing good work. He goes back to scrolling. Thanks. Nimba lifts a hand in response. That's my worry, sleeper. Good workers like you, they move on fast. He leans back and looks at you. 10 cycles. Maybe more, maybe less. And then they are gone. And the team? The team gets used to having them here, gets used to working at that pace. Then suddenly, they have to work differently. They have to pick up the slack, change jobs, change stations, and every few of them think, well, maybe it's time I moved on too. So, what I found is good workers are trouble, especially those who come and go, like you. He pauses and watches you. Let him speak. This place, it runs on consistency, sleeper. Those who turn up every cycle, good or bad, they get the people fed. He takes off his reading glasses, inspecting them for smudges. Let's be honest, they ain't you. So, let's cut it. Cut to it. I can't use you in the kitchen anymore. You're done. He shrugs. Sorry. But this place also runs on all those machines out there. On the supplies I can rope in. The donations. Feeding refugees from the inner systems is logistics as much as it is chefing. He shakes his head. Which is why I'm cooped up in the back. So maybe you're gone. I never see you again. Okay? Thanks for coming. We'll soldier on without you. But maybe you still want to be useful. Maybe I heard you have a ship. He smiles at you. Yeah. Maybe I heard you chatting. And maybe I have a little something held up in a place only a ship like yours can reach. I negotiated the purchase of some valuable inner system spores from a group that came from there. But they somehow ended up at the depot in Greenbelt. Niba sighs. So, if you head to Greenbelt, and you find the delivery, and you bring it back, well, Niba looks at you pointedly, that would be helping. And that would be the kind of helping a good worker, even an inconsistent worker, might be able to offer me. Niba squints at you. Seems like the kind of thing that someone genuine, someone who wants to help for real, might do, don't you think? He doesn't wait for your reply. But it also seems like the kind of thing that might sit on a list of priorities for so long it disappears and never gets done. I've seen that happen too. I guess we'll find out which it is. He deftly places his reading glasses back on his face and continues to scroll the screen on his terminal. You know the way out, sleeper. You turn in the doorway, slightly taken aback, and it slides shut behind you. You glide through the kitchen and through the improvised canteen and the people eating and chatting there, and into the cold underhang passageway beyond. All the time considering what you might do next, and recalling that persuasive glint in the Nimba's eye. Okay, so we do have something from there, but I don't know how helpful that'd be. I don't think we'll get anything for it. So we probably want to go diagnose our frame for next, which is... What's this one? Malik and the Springtide are being held on the far spindle until they can fulfill the water order. This asteroid might be the key to calming the administrators. 250 cryo though to do that. Oosh. It's gonna mean that we can pay for everything, but it's risky. What about traveling to Flotsam? Yeah, we can do that. Let's go do the diagnosis of us. It's hard to tell where Flotsam ends and the ships parked at its many docking bridges begin. As Seraphim docks with the station, you realise that the rig now looks like just another piece of the accumulated technology. One more bit of driftwood added to the raft. I love this place. Seraphim smiles as he shuts down the engine. You never know what you'll find. You've been here before? Yeah, back when I first came to the belt. The crew I signed on with used to run salvage jobs out of here. Fun place to spend your wages. You see Bliss eyeing the station with what looks like both horror and fascination. You see the seals? They point at some twisted assembly of ship parts. Total cowboy worlds. They could pop at any moment. Seraphim waves away their concerns. Oh, that's just the outer layer. I heard there's 6 or 7 in all. If one fails, it's not a problem. He stretches and turns to you. You got to taste some of the stuff they grow on old take. He kisses his fingers. That's the good shit. Oh great, Bliss sighs. So many layers of redundancy to fall back that you have no hope of isolating a leak and fixing it. A rap on the wall of the rig. Sounds like a ship I know. Hey. Seraphim joins in. Two of you shoulder to shoulder. She's got you out there, didn't she? He shrugs at Bliss. 1 minute. What's that even sentence? She got you out here. Okay. I'm back in. She got you out here, didn't she? He shrugs at Bliss. No sense of gratitude. I was joking. Bliss looks a little hurt and drifts out of the cockpit, shaking their head. You go to follow, but Seraphim puts a hand on your shoulder. Sleeper. He looks suddenly serious. Remember what I said about getting checked out? There are artificers all over the place. It will take a bit of searching, but we need to know what's going on with you. He meets your eye. That's why we're here. Good. Seraphim nods. Let me know what they say. I'm gonna go see if any of my old haunts are still open. He drifts out to the cockpit with a mock salute. Catch you later. You are left alone in the cockpit with a view of Flotsam's chaotic structure. You look over the multicolour plating. It does, you admit, have a certain charm. Okay. So we only have... It's tiny compared to the Spire. We only have Flotsam Hub to go to. So we can explore or analyse the structure. Explore is better. We need to repair our dice somehow. Hey, neutral outcome. Lovely. I love it when it's better than bad. Neutral outcome again. This is going to be something good, whatever. Just neutral though. Okay. Bit annoying. 100% positive. Are we going to get 2 or 3? 2. That means we're 1 short. We're going to have to rest up. Okay, we can't finish that one. Oh wow, we got loads of new locations though. The narrow escape, crash ship turn bar, old take, an antique hydroponic ship, and a ferrous tanker. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna rest, but actually I think we're gonna sleep as well. Ah, we can't put dice in. We need to get rid of some of our stress as well. I'm gonna end the cycle for this turn. Man, our dice took a bit of a pound in there. Last video, look, 4 of them have got 1 health down, which isn't ideal, and we only got one for all of them. Oh man, come on! Thank you. Oh, I don't really want to use these dice. They're awful. Let's see if we... this is like basically not going to happen, isn't it? Hey, we did it! It happened! The chaos of Flotsam intrigues you. Passage to passage, it's the most incoherent place you've ever visited. Plating, cladding, and cushioning of all kinds, conditions... Oh, 1 minute. Plating, cladding, and cushioning of all kinds of conditions hides a forest of wires and ducts, interfacing in ways that their manufacturers would never have dreamed possible. Rooms are crushed cargo bays, split bridges, and eviscerated engine rooms. Patchwork corridors are lumpen with messy welds, bending worryingly along their length. It is, to put nicely, a total mess. It's not that you don't like it, but finding an artificer among this chaos has been more than a little challenging. This cycle, searching these winding passages once more, seeing only scrap merchants and junk shops, you have begun to wonder if Seraphim had any idea what he was talking about when he advised you to come here. A sleeper. The voice cuts through the pungent air. Well, I never. You glance at the voice's direction and find yourself looking at a small booth piled with tech. Behind the fogged and scratched plastic screen is a meticulously arranged counter, the only clear spot in sight. At it, an older man with wet and wandering eyes sits neatly. Let's approach. Jean-Mi tilts his head. Didn't mean to be rude, please. He bows a little. That's okay. He smiles warmly, almost bowing again, his hunched shoulders accentuating the movement. How? He pauses, taking care with his speech now. How are you feeling, sleeper? He beckons a little closer. I am Jean-Michel. Please, you to you? Jean-Mi. I work with machines. He sweeps a hand above the counter, where you see configuration of tiny parts. Mostly small ones, he smiles. I'm going to stay silent. He nods, as if you answered. Or perhaps just out of habit. He chops his hand to indicate the stool with a leg bar behind, meant for perching besides his counter. And such is the clarity and persuasiveness of his movement that you obligingly sit. Your presence is a rare honor here, he smiles, and looks down into his lap. I am sorry if I make you uncomfortable. I'm just very pleased to see you. That's okay. He looks up. Very kind of you to say. I can see your journey to me has not been easy, he says, genuinely concerned. You track his eyes across your body, noticing the scuff marks on your thick, vinyl-like skin, the replaced and broken parts of your body, the marks of violence. You pull your jacket a little tighter. Jean-Mi folds his hands over the other one and places them on the counter. I do not know what your experiences have been, but I want to assure you that I see you as a person, a being, a soul, shall we say. as valid as any other. You look at Jean Me, his own age and wear also evident, a life of precise and careful work shaping his body into a reflection of his process. You note his unconfident way of speaking, which betrays a certain loneliness, a lack of practice. It is his turn to feel observed. I understand. You are kind. The frankness of the remark takes you by surprise. He looks down at his counter and begins to take apart a tiny piece of machinery that sits there. Many years ago, when I began my apprenticeship, I would find that whenever I saw something that, how you say, was not working well, I was fixated on it and its repairs. He tinkers with the parts, twisting them precisely. Of course, the belt is filled with this kind of dysfunctional detail. And so I was busy, for many years, with these small things. He smiles in reminiscence. But now, I find that when I am interested in a thing that is not working as it should, he sharply twists one of the parts between his fingers. It is because it might have some quality not yet foreseen or discovered. He released the altered object into the air, where it, what's that word? Balletically twists in a hypnotic display, like a spinning top whose movements are totally unpredictable. Jean Me smiles at you watching his hypnotic toy. I can see that you are in a process of becoming a sleeper. 1 minute. I can see that you are in a process of becoming a sleeper. He catches the spinning toy between his finger and thumb. Let me aid you in this. What do you mean? Jean Me precise hands drop to a device around his neck and deftly pulls a pair of goggles up to his face, masking his wet eyes. Hold still, sleeper. Something flickers inside the goggles, their face blank. Jean Me's hands play across the buttons and switches on the exterior, tuning, focusing. Let him work. When the goggles are finally lowered, they reveal a look of concern on Jean Me's face. I think you better come inside. He kicks off from the desk and disappears. A moment later, you hear a rattle, and a small bulkhead door beside the booth that you had assumed was rusted shut creaks open. Jean Me beckons you inside. Jean Me's workshop is even more cramped than you expected. As you enter, you are surrounded on all sides with netting holding bundles and bundles of terminals, servers, and drives and cables. At its center, a padded seat and a set of articulated arms mounted with sensors and tools fill the space. The seat, please. Jimmy gestures at it with a polite smile. What are you going to do? Not to worry. I only wish to examine you. It's non-intrusive. You tentatively settle in the seat, slipping in your arms and feet into the straps meant to keep you from floating out of it in 0G. Jimmy floats beside you. He looks across your body. There is damage here. I see that. We'll get to that. There's something else here as well. This is why you came. He looks at you solemnly. Yes. Though I've never met a sleeper, I have studied them. I was lucky to acquire some materials from S&ARP some time ago. In the interest of my own endeavours, he begins arranging a series of sensors around you on articulated arms. You are pleasingly distinct from those materials. His eyes flash with excitement. Am I right thinking you've been modified? I rebooted myself. Yes. I see that your dependency on stabilizer on the immune recoding portion of its makeup, at least, has been broken. He gives you a precise look. But that's not all. You are physically modified, not externally, but internally. Carefully positions the final sensor. Your tracker is disabled, which makes it impossible for S&ARP to find you. Congratulations, he smiles broadly. But this is not all. You have been modified, yes, but you are also being modified as we speak. You feel strange claustrophobia as Jinmi's statement. Modified? Seraphim rebooted your system, ran a re-recoding protocol, but that shouldn't have physically changed you. It's only removed your planned obsolescence. How? Jinmi goes into the terminal, flicks a switch. Through the back of the translucent screen, you see a nodal web of vague shapes of a sitting body. Your body. These changes appear to be complex, subtle but consistent. Jinmi goes silent as he taps the terminal. The representation of your body rotating, unfolding in an unsettling motion. What changes? See here? Points at flickering representation of your spine, tracing the line towards your head. Your nervous system is growing additional nodal points. Here and here. Meanwhile, your emulation interface is growing an umbilical access port. Though towards the end, I'm unsure. Towards what end, I'm unsure. You instinctively reach back and touch the base of your head. As you do, the scan flickers and screeches with noise. You feel something there, growing under the thick vinyl skin. You can feel a lump. Was it just your imagination? You pick at it. Jinmi sighs, shuts off the terminal. The changes are partial, and in all honesty, he gestures sharply at the sensors. The resolution is too poor. I need to run a full diagnostic, but for that I would need... He drifts to another terminal and brings up screens and screens of text and diagrams. Yes, some kind of medium to hold your suspension emulation. The access jack I can build myself, but I need to bridge your emulation. Jimmy speaks quietly, almost to himself. A ship mind would be ideal for this. It would have to be high capacity, a prime ship mind, Solheim in origin, perhaps a Helion gate might hold records of any that were in the system. He taps the terminal. Jimmy turns back to you. Yes, prime ship mind is essential if you wish to further investigations to be done. I will need this above all. He thumbs the terminal off. I'm sorry to say, Sleeper. You tell me more? Accurately? No. He meshes his fingers in front of his chest. It is clear that the process has begun, but is yet to complete. Jinmi busies himself while taking down the sensors, folding away the articulated arms. As he does, you try and calm yourself. You feel as if you have worms under your skin. It takes all your focus not to pick it at its seams. Jimmy suddenly, but gently, places a hand on you. On yours. Please, remain calm. He puts a carefully restored rare component in your hand. This can help you. Jimmy waits for you to fall still. Then he leans back a little. Reliving or reviling? Reliving some of the strange intimacy of the moment. For now, our work is concluded. He meshes his fingers again and bows with a small head bob. But you are welcome any time. Thank you, of course. His manner seems to have returned to some more businesslike, a humble man who knows his customers' needs. You get up from your seat, feel a little dazed, and push away from the passage. Safe travel, Sleeper, Jimmy says quietly, placing the promised list in your hand as he lets you back into the station. You leave dazed, unsure of how you feel about the insistence of this man's particular kindness, but most of all, haunted by the idea of the unseen processes that are running within you. Part of you does not wish to know anything further, to leave this place and never look back, and another is desperate to immediately retrieve every object on the list so that you may know what strangeness is happening within you. For now, you must steady yourself and find a way to continue. Seraphim comes to find you in your bunk. After Jimmy's assessment, you find yourself drifting back to the rig, in need of familiarity and comfort of your own ship. Sleeper? He drifts in. You find an artificer? He hovers at the door looking concerned. explain. You tell him about Jimmy, how he offered your repairs, ran assessments of your frame, and described the cramped booth and the articulated arms, the strangeness of seeing your own body automatized above the terminal of the screen. Then you tell him that your body is changing and growing in ways Jin-Mi can't identify, that some process has been started and you do not know where it will end. You mention umbilical ports, nodal points, trying your best to remember the details of things Jin-Mi asked you to retrieve. Seraphim goes pale and silent. He shakes his head when you stop talking. Lane, he frowns. Piece of shit has to be behind this. Perhaps. For sure. Seraphim looks stubbornly at the floor. We'll get what you need. We'll find a ship mind. He nods. Bit of work here and there, and we can make it to Helion Gate and wherever else. What about... No, let's go thank you. Just say the word, okay? He goes quiet. Don't give up on yourself just yet, he smiles. Get up. Get back to it. And with that, he turns, kicks off down the corridor, disappearing from sight. You wait a little while, staring at the stained ceiling of the bunks, letting the thoughts settle in your mind. Then, when you're ready, you get up and leave, dazed, but with a stony determination growing in your chest. Alright, so, we now know what we need to get. We need to get some stuff. A ship at Helion Gate is where we need to go, but I have a feeling there's going to be a bit more to get there. I mean, where is Helion Gate? Can we see it? Yeah. Holmes Rock. Helion Gate. So we can get there. But it's going to be far. I think probably next, because we're going to stop there, but next thing we want to do is go and do the Ice-Rich Asteroid contract. That will get us 250 units to spend. That will give us enough supplies and fuel to get to Helion Gate and try and do whatever we need to do to get the ship mined. I think that's probably the next plan, but for now we're going to finish there, and we'll probably next time as well explore Flotsam a little bit as well, because we only did that bit really, didn't we? So we'll do a little bit more, see if we can figure out what's going on here as well, if there's anything else we can do here to get stuff. And then to go do a contract. Sounds like a good plan, doesn't it? So thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and come back next time to see what we're going to be doing. And thank you for watching again. I'll see you when I see you.